Welcome everyone to show 103 with our special guest, Tom Breeze. Tom is the CEO of Viewability, an international video advertising agency. And today you're going to learn why you should be advertising on YouTube and exactly how you can do it, even without a huge budget. Tribe, if you haven't explored a functional training space for your gym, then now is the time. With Queenex Functional Training by Precor, there is a unit to fit every space. Plus, education is included to ensure that training is delivered with confidence. You need to jump online and check this out right now. Go to precor.com/fitness business podcast. With clients such as Frank Kern, Neil Patel, Brendan Bouchard, Andy Jenkins, and Amy Porterfield, and many other international brands across many industries, Tom Breeze has built thousands of successful advertising campaigns, testing and tracking all of the results. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Now, can we start off today by perhaps you sharing with us a couple of apps, systems, or rituals that you might use to stay focused and stay on top of your workload?
Yeah, good question. Do you know what? I had to really think about this and go through with my team to say, like, what do we actually do? Why are we able to really streamline what we do? And I think one of the best things we did probably about 18 months ago, maybe even longer than that ago now, is we said to ourselves, right, we're only going to do one thing, and that was YouTube advertising. And so when we do what we do, it's very, very streamlined. We know what to say no to. If someone asks for something that we don't do, we know to say no. We do it in a polite way, of course. But we are very, very focused on doing that one thing. And then we build systems to allow us to achieve that in the very best way. So we're all about standard operating procedures. We build them out. We are very clear with here's how to do this section. And it becomes very scientific. We test everything and we focus on everything. And it means that we know where we can get good results. And it therefore means that we have a standard way of doing things. There's always a bit of bespoke to it, but we tend to try and focus on that one thing. And that really enables us to have that focus and know what we're doing and know what to say no to. And as an agency, that's a big thing for us because I know a lot of agencies do a lot of things. They're half creative, half spending money on advertising. They are doing other things for clients. And it's so difficult to run an agency like that and keep on top of things. So we just do the one thing. We run YouTube ads and we know that we can just focus in on that. And we keep a check of our things all the time. So saying no is one of our biggest rituals, really. And then just knowing that we're just focusing on that one thing of generating profit from advertising through video is the one thing we do. So that's, we don't necessarily use apps as such to do that. We just kind of know that we just focus in and say, right, we know what we're here to do and we go and do that. And we're very good at it.
Tom, I love hearing you say that because it is a challenge that many fitness business owners face, and that is being a jack of all trades. And
yeah.
Here, your example of just focusing on one particular area, I think is really important that we all can think about with our businesses. And as a matter of fact, we had back in show 98, Sue Zimmerman, the Instagram expert, on the show as one of our guests. And she said exactly the same thing. And that was going from being an expert across multiple social media channels to just focusing on Instagram, and you've done that with YouTube. So to everyone out there that's listening, please take these two leaders as examples of how you can run a successful business by focusing in on a niche area. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Tom. Now, as we've just discovered, your area of expertise is YouTube advertising. So can you talk us through how YouTube advertising can work for a fitness business?
Yeah, so I always think about the audience that I'm speaking to. And one of our biggest mantras when we look at any advertising campaign is to always start with the user. And this is such an important thing because I think a lot of people pay lip service to the idea of focusing on the customer and making sure that we are able to give the customer the best experience. But when it actually comes down to it, I think a lot of people don't actually do that. I think a lot of people, what they do is they say, okay, here's my product or here's my service, here's what I do. Now let's try and package it up. And then we'll try and go and sell it to the marketplace. And in order to get YouTube advertising to work, you've got to flip that on its head. So if you feel like you've got a really clever new product or system or new offering to the market, and then think about, right, how do we sell this to a customer? You're coming from it from the wrong perspective. And I think that this plays true for YouTube, but I think it plays true for any type of advertising, and in fact, any type of promotional marketing. If you're to flip it on its head and think, right, my customers are out there and they already want what I've got typically. What do I need to say? What do I need to do to talk to that customer like I would do if I met them on a one-to-one scenario, and kind of just listen to them and provide something of value to those people? And if you start from that perspective and really focus on the user's needs and wants and their experience and start there, you'll find that your marketing efforts and your advertising efforts become so much easier. It's so much easier to tap into what people actually want and then sell them something that they're happy to pay for than to create something and think, oh, go on, you're going to love this, go on. And then you've got to become a salesperson to try and sell that thing. It's so much easier when you start from a perspective of what do they actually want to begin with, and start there and think, right, what do we now create in order for them to fit that need? And it sounds like such an obvious 101 marketing strategy, but no one does it, or very few people do it. And it's such a better place to start, because then if you start from that perspective and start with a user in mind and think about what they actually want, then when you create your video, when you target that audience, when you do everything around that, the whole sales and persuasion and effective communication, which is all important and powerful, it just becomes less important. It just becomes like, hey, look, if I know as I recently joined a new gym, actually, so I know that when I went there, I was going there and I knew I was going to sign up because of the facilities there. They tried to sell me on all the different features they had available, and I was like, yeah, I don't really care too much about that. And they had their salesperson come and talk to me and sell me on and walks me around the gym and walks me around the swimming pool and things. I kind of already knew I was buying before I was there. So that actually became a hassle to me, but it was their sales method. And I was just like, this is not right for me. I'm walking around the gym because you want to walk me around the gym, and I know what a gym looks like. I know that I want to join already. And so that it became a hassle to have to go through what they thought was a really good sales process. And because they didn't focus on me to begin with, they didn't, like, if they just sat with me and said, okay, look, what are you looking to do? I'd be like, I want to sign up now. They could have just made it a lot more easier for me at that point, but they didn't. They had to walk through everything and go, and that's just kind of like, they're not focusing on me, they're focusing on their system first. And I think a lot of people do that. So it's whenever we start with a YouTube ad campaign, we think with the start with the user in mind. And what people do on YouTube is we all go through moments. And what I mean by a moment is you'll do this with so many things, and sometimes we're unaware of it and sometimes we are aware of it. But so mobile traffic on YouTube has just surpassed desktop traffic recently. But it's so true, because I've got an iPhone, and whatever phone that you've got as well, Chantel, is the chances are when you need something or need to know something or do something, or you want to buy something, or maybe just inspired by something. Those are the 4 moments when you want to know, do, buy something, or want to be inspired by something. You'll typically go to your phone or your desktop computer, and you might go to Google or you might go to YouTube, and you type in what you want to find out about. Mm-hmm. And you might be on Google, you might find some blogs, you might end up on YouTube at some point, and you're saying, okay, how to do this, how to do that. I know that when recently we found out about, must have been just about 2 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer ago, I found out we're having our second child, and it was unexpected, but it was amazing. And as soon as it happened, I was filled with a little bit of joy, but a lot of anxiety, to be quite honest. I was like, right, yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm now filled with joy and tiredness, so it's a different emotion altogether. But when that moment came where we're like, oh my God, we're pregnant for the second time, it was completely unexpected. And at that point, my mind went into a little bit of overdrive of like, right, we have to do so much stuff now. Like, because 1 was hard enough, and 2, I imagine, is going to be a lot harder, and it is. It's like feeling like we've got 5 now. And there's certain things that I went through in my mind of like, right, well, we need a new stroller or buggy or whatever you would call it. And so immediately I went online and said, right, I need a duo buggy. I need a one that fits two kids because there's 15 months between our two children. So it's quite a small age gap and they're both very young. So they both need to be in the stroller at the same time. And there's very few strollers that are out there that are really good. So I went to YouTube and looked for reviews of buggies that held two kids. And I was watching all these different videos from mums, and I wanted to see how these things collapse, how they fold up, if they could fit into the back of a car, which is a new thing. I needed a new car, I found out, to fit two kids. And you go through these moments, and it lasts around about 40 minutes on a mobile on YouTube. But you're looking for information, you're searching for information, wanting to find out what to do. And I ended up making my purchasing decision based off videos that I was watching on YouTube, because well, if a mum reviews it and says it's good, I'll go and buy that one. And this is the thing, is I was in that moment, but during that moment, I saw no ads from any McLaren or any other brands that sell these buggies. I saw no ads whatsoever. But these views on YouTube were in the millions, all of them. There was huge amounts of views, people watching these videos from mums demoing products, and the actual brands there were not advertising. And that's crazy to me, because I feel like that's where all the eyeballs are going and no one's there. No advertising is there. And 9 times out of 10 brands aren't there. That's the official stat from Google, is that 9 times out of 10, when we go searching for information that a brand can provide us with, the brand is not there. And it's just such a huge opportunity on YouTube. It works on bidding, so it's nice and cheap because no one's there, so you're bidding against nobody else typically. And you can run ads very, very effectively when someone's in their moment, when someone's in their need. So if we translate this to fitness professionals, personal trainers, people that own gyms, etc., your customers are already out there going to YouTube. They're looking up yoga exercises. They're looking up how to lose weight. They're looking up information that is going to be exactly what your customers are typically looking for. And you can advertise to your local area or a national area or an international area as well, depending on what you're selling. And you can get in front of that audience very easily with YouTube. So when someone types in something like how to lose weight or specific exercises for lower back pain or whatever that might be, there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of videos out there on that topic. And most of those videos will have what's called pre-roll ads or in-stream ads that will run before that video. We've all seen it before. We press play on a video, and as soon as we press play, an ad will pop up instead. Mm-hmm. Now, some people feel like those are just reserved for big brands, but they're not at all. Every entrepreneur, anyone who runs a business can run those ads on YouTube. You use it through you have to have a YouTube channel, and then you need to use something called AdWords. You just use the platform to run a video campaign. But you can select the videos that you want your ad to appear in front of. So you can say, right, if there's a video specifically about lower back pain, let's say, and exercises to strengthen your lower back, for example, then if there's any videos out there about that topic, you can decide to run your ads that would hopefully be about lower back pain exercises in front of those videos that people were just about to watch. But you can do it to a local area, to the right sort of demographics, male or female, and a certain age bracket that you get to decide. And so you're getting in front of someone exactly at the moment when someone's looking for that information. So you don't need to be some sort of sales genius to turn them into a potential customer. They are seeing your ad when they're already looking for that information. And so it means that you can really have such a connection from the get-go to start with a situation where, say, for example, I've gone to YouTube, I've typed in lower back pain exercises to strengthen my back, for example, and then there's an ad there that comes up that says, okay, here's 3 simple ways you can exercise your lower back to loosen it out, but also strengthen your core and your back to make it stronger in the long run. I'll be like, oh my God, that's exactly what I was been looking for. And then it just so happens that that's a local gym expert or a local personal trainer who says, by the way, I give you these exercises and they work, but you probably want to come in and just check that you're doing these exercises correctly. Or if you're interested in taking this further, then I do run weekly classes and you can come down to the gym and you can come and work with me, for example. I'm probably doing a very bad example of an ad there, but I'm sure people get the idea, is you can get in front of people exactly that moment when they're already looking for you. And that makes your life as a promoter of your business so much easier, because you're only talking to really hot prospects already. And that's why I feel like YouTube is such a powerful platform to use as an advertising platform.
We're going to break away for something a little bit different. I asked Tom to put himself in the shoes of a gym owner and walk us through the steps that we should take to start advertising on YouTube. Now, he provided a seriously detailed description on exactly how to do this. It is so detailed, in fact, that I decided that it would be most valuable for you to be able to actually read it. So I've created a PDF download with that information from Tom. So all you need to do to access that is go to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/Tom Breeze, which is BREEZE. Now, to give you the top line points of what he talks about, Tom says that with YouTube, you can really zero in on a specific customer need. He said you just need to focus on that one thing. He said, first up, identifying the person and their intent is essential. Once you know the person and you know their focus, then you can start to create that video ad for them. He said that you want the ad to be 2 to 3 minutes long and you want to genuinely give great advice. In the PDF that you can access on the website, Tom gives heaps of detail around creating the content of the ad, so make sure you go and take a read of that. But in summary, he tells you that in regards to YouTube advertising, first of all, you want to have a really great hook to begin with. You need to have very good credibility and content within the ad. And then at the end of the video, you want to make sure that you've got a solid call to action, for example, going to your website. Probably the biggest takeaway that I urge every single one of you to keep in mind is that Tom says that you need to make it as easy as possible for your target audience to take action from the ad. He said that we are all getting very, very used to a really easy way of life, like paying for things online with just a fingerprint and getting it delivered the next day. That is what people are getting used to. So therefore, if there is anything clunky in the process of your YouTube ad and sending people to your website or a call to action, then it's just going to slow down conversions with your potential customer. So you want to make sure that the experience is sleek and streamlined as much as possible. Also, one last thing, when you take a read of the PDF, make sure that you click through to the link to BuzzSumo. It is a really cool website that Tom talks about where you can analyze what content performs best for the customer that you're trying to reach. So one more time, the website link for that PDF is fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/Tom Breeze. Okay, let's get stuck back into the interview where I've asked Tom the question, for those of us who don't have a huge advertising budget, how can we advertise on YouTube?
Of course, yeah. So the videos that you create don't need to be whiz-bang kind of videos, by the way, just so people know. So iPhone videos can be good. Just make sure you put it on a tripod just to keep it stable. And then you can always buy a Rode microphone. So that'll keep the budget low for video production. When it comes to actually spending money with YouTube, you can start with like $10 a day or $5 a day. It's really very cheap and you can measure absolutely everything. So if you are using something, if you're going to have to use AdWords to run your ads, but if you kind of use AdWords, then there's something called conversion pixels. You can use AdWords ones, which is basically where you just put a special bit of code on certain pages on your website, which means it will just track everything that's happening on your website or what you want to measure. So you can see, let's say, for example, you've worked out for your facility that if someone comes and registers their interest or comes and signs up for a certain program that you have, for example, then you know how much that's worth to you. Then you can do the numbers very quickly in terms of it will track everything inside of AdWords and you can see how much you're spending and how much you're generating. And if you run an ad, for example, and let's say, for example, you're spending $10 a day, and after the first week, you've had 3 inquiries that have turned into two bookings and 1 new customer, and they are going to be paying you $50 to $100 a month, for example, then you can quickly work out your numbers and work out what that's worth to you. But if you know you spent $10 a day for 7 days, that's going to be $70 that you spent. And if you've generated $100 from that, but then you know that you got the recurring income from that as well, and you know what a lifetime customer value might be, then you can quickly work out that your $70 is turning into, let's say, $500. Then do you know that for $1 in, you're getting more than $5 back? You're like, great, well, let's go and spend some more dollars. And you just kind of slowly increase your budgets. And you won't need to spend much if you're running a local campaign for sure, because you're probably going to find that you're going to max out at some point. So once you do that, once you've got some kind of good results and you're trying to optimize and scale things, then at that point, what I'd say is like, you've chosen one moment, which is for females that are looking to bulk up, for example. Now you might go for males that want to bulk up, or maybe you want to go for people that want to lose weight, or people that want to go for kind of other needs, for example. You can just target those different moments and create different ads for those people. And it means that when you run these ads, you're going to get more and more ads out there targeting different people, different needs, but they're coming through to the website with these different needs, and you can help them take the next step with you.
To finish off, I asked Tom to tell us all about Ad School. But first, let's hear from our podcast partner, MyZone. MyZone, the wearable technology partner that enhances paid programming and drives customer engagement. Learn more at myzone.org.
Yeah, of course. So on tombreeze.com, we have a site where it has a lot of free resources on there. So a lot of keynote presentations I've given in San Diego, in Sydney. I was recently in Sydney, actually, so just not too far away from you guys. And yeah, and then and in London as well. So I've given a few presentations, different locations. And so those most of those are free, I think, on Ad School. And so there's lots of free resources there. There are some paid programs in there as well to like run through like specific how to set things up and how to run ads for the first time. And there's lots of other great programs in there as well. So in Ad School, we kind of like look to say, look, if you're serious about running ads for your business, here's some really clever ways of using different strategies, different type of campaigns to make it work for your business. And this, like we built it out about 6 months ago to maybe a year ago now, and we've had great feedback on it. But now we're kind of like going to the whole new level. We've just invested in a studio just next door to my office, and it means that I can kind of create a lot more content, and I'll be creating more and more programs in due course. So yeah, Ad School hopefully will become a really big place to be, and lots of stuff on there. But right now it's already got lots of resources on there as well. So it's a great place to enroll, and you can do that for free, and there's a lot of free resources on there as well.
Well, Tom, look, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. It's been such an eye-opener hearing all about YouTube advertising. What I love the most is that this is not something that's exclusive to our business owners and managers out there who have big budgets. It's available to everyone. It's something that we can all get involved in, make the most out of. And I think that you have been such a fantastic resource in helping us gain a better understanding of exactly what we can do to advertise on YouTube. So thank you so much for coming on today and joining us on the show.
Of course, it's been a pleasure. I love this sort of stuff. So thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that podcast. And if you want to get more information and more great content just like that, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll see the button on the video right now.